welcome back to our channel. I'm Charlotte and this is Sam, and we are Hope with Mental Health. Today we thought we'd do a video talking about 5 tips that might help you in a time of mental health crisis, or if you find yourself struggling and can't quite get out of the rut of like the intrusive thoughts, I guess, that you're having or how you're feeling. So point number 1 is, and I think this is sort of a therapy as well, it can be sort of self-taught, and that's a distraction technique. So it's finding something that you can do to distract yourself from those thoughts. Sounds probably more simplistic and easier than it actually is.
Yeah.
But I know when we were writing Mum's last book, Hope with Anxiety, a lot of the contributors said that a way that helps them cope or get themselves out of like a dip in their recovery is by having something that distracts them. So one of the contributors said that she sings the Frozen, the song from Frozen. And she did say it may sound really weird and a bit out there, but she sings the song from Frozen and it just helps her sort of click out of the mindset that she's in. Other people do things like they listen to one thing that, they name one thing that they can hear, one thing they can see, and one thing they can smell. So it's just making you more aware of your surroundings and kind of like grounding you. But it could be anything that distracts you. You could think about different parts of your body and how they're feeling. That's what I do.
I feel like that won't help some people, but I can see how it can.
But I do.
But it
Yeah,
can.
but anything can help anyone.
Yeah, anything can help anyone.
It really depends on you yourself. Like singing the song from Frozen won't help everyone, but you've got to find the things that help you. But I think quite a popular one is naming things around you, things you can smell, things you can see, things you can hear. So yeah, that's tip number 1, and that will probably take a bit of time to sort of find out what can make you get out of the thought process you're in, but it's something that seems to be quite popular once people have
It's a type of therapy, isn't it? It's called something, I can't remember.
It's a distraction technique. It's like a technique, I think, in like recovery.
Yeah. Next one, I can't stress how much this one is so important. Take 10. Take 10. Hindsight is a good thing. There are so many things I would do differently if I just even took 10 seconds. If you can, 10 minutes is good. But just take 10. Breathe. If something's triggered you, if you're finding something different around you, just step out for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And that makes such a difference. There are so many things. I think the world's so instant. We're so instant and we're so overrun and we're so like wired.
And like reactive as well. Like we just react so quickly. I think the difference is, people probably used to do it years ago before technology, but we have things where we can just respond straight away to things, and everything's, even like you order something on Amazon and it's like there. If it's not coming the next day or same day, we're like, what's going on? Like, just I think that's really important. And we're too like, everything's got to happen now and be now. So.
Even if something's triggered you during the day with another person, we just have a phone. We can just message them straight away. Whereas before, you would come home and think about it, and the next day other things would distract you, and the next day you would sort it out probably with a lot better mind. But even if, for example, with OCD, I suffer from OCD. If something triggers me OCD, if I'm challenging myself, if you can, just take 10 in that moment and then carry on. It'll take a while if you keep doing it, but just take 10, breathe. And we're so used to being like, make a coffee, this, that. If you can just take them seconds just to make such a difference.
Tip number 3, also super important, is if you are struggling, speak to someone or contact someone that you trust. This obviously not everyone has someone who they can just call straight away or speak to straight away that they trust or feel that they can talk to about things, but also there are lots of helplines out there. We posted something on our social media which showed you all the helplines that are around during COVID-19, but there are a lot of helplines out there that can help and support you. Just make sure that you talk to someone that you trust if you feel like that could help you.
Number 3, or in number 4?
Number 4.
Number 4, write it down. This, like, everywhere says write it down. Everywhere. But your head, like, there's so much in people's heads, isn't there? And just writing it down, if you're someone, especially if you have a mental illness, you've already got that, like, battle going on, let alone just getting through the day with all normal stuff. So, I mean, I still need to be better at it, but when I have stuff to do, you can have the intention of doing it, but if something triggers you OCD wise, you just forget straight away. Like, mum or you will ask me to do something, or dad or whoever, and I'll be ready to go and do it. Something will trigger the OCD, and I'll just forget. Oh, it will just go out. Same with calling people back as well. Sometimes I'm better now, but I was very known for just not calling people back. Whereas if it's a list, you know it's there, you know you've got to do it or you've got to sort it out, you won't forget it, it's just there. And sorry, just quickly, it's always a lot less when you write it down than what it is in your head.
I think, so definitely from like writing a list down of things you wanted to do, but also writing down how you're feeling, like, and your issues, like in a journal type. I'm feeling like I'm uncomfy on this sofa. Yeah, in a journal type way. So sometimes if you are feeling like overly anxious, sometimes actually really thinking about, hang on, what is this specific thing that's triggered my anxiety? Why do I feel anxious? And if you actually pinpoint what you're anxious about, I don't know, like sometimes I find myself like really anxious, and then when I think, oh god, yeah, it was that thing about 3 hours ago where I was worried that like my dad hadn't got home or hadn't called me back, and that's what's made me anxious, and then I think he's probably fine. So sometimes kind of pinpointing what you're actually worrying about is helpful, because then you realise, okay, actually I'm being a little bit over the top about this. Last one, and number 5, is to, well, kind of goes along with the take 10, but it's more like doing yoga, meditation and breathing exercises. So if you go online, there's so many breathing exercises you can do. But I find like breathing, yoga, meditation, I guess you'd have to be in the right mindset to try and do that. But doing something like yoga where you're stretching out your body, like maybe put on a yoga video, just like a 5-minute one, do some stretches, do some breathing. It can really help to just like take that pressure down a little bit and kind of ground you a little bit. I mean, it might not take everything away, but if you're really feeling like you don't know what to do with yourself, maybe doing something like that is a little bit of self-care, stretching out your body and making you feel a bit better.
Just going outside. These are all like tips that everyone says, but once you do it, you actually realise just going outside for a walk. I went for one yesterday and it started hailing it. That's when I called you, just to tell you that I was outside. But my God, did it help. So, yeah.
So, yeah, they're just 5 simple tips that anyone can do. And they might help you in a moment of crisis or if you're feeling overwhelmed. So if anyone has any more that has helped them, please comment them below, because we'd love to know, and share your tips with others. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.